Hi everybody, this is Björgvin from The Long Wait. We are currently in the process of recording electric guitars for Dispute, the song that we're going to release in hopefully a few weeks. So what I'm doing here, I wanted to show you a little bit about how to record electric guitar and how you kind of go about choosing a microphone or choosing where to put it. So what I got here on this amp now is a dynamic microphone, similar to an SM58 like you've seen before. A dynamic is very different from a condenser, which you use on vocals, acoustic guitar, other acoustic instruments, stuff like that. A condenser microphone has a broader frequency spectrum, or picks up more of the frequency spectrum, more of the highs especially, which makes it very good for acoustic instruments. But whereas here we're doing a kind of an electric guitar is by default pretty unnatural sounding. It goes through its, pickups and goes into the amp, and something comes out that's very much a combination of all the factors involved here. And then it gets picked up by the microphone, and what I'm looking for here is kind of mildly overdriven sound, doing a rhythm electric guitar, and it's gonna be just filling up the rhythm section there in the mix. And what I'm looking for is just a nice and narrow, well, not necessarily super narrow, but a dynamic microphone by default has a little bit more of a narrow frequency response. Another aspect of recording guitar is not just the mic, it's the placement of the mic in front of the amplifier. So as you know, there's a cone inside this amp, and it depends on the sound you get into the microphone really depends on where you place the mic. So directly in front of the cone itself, in the smack dab in the center, you get I would describe it as a little bit harsher sound. It gets really the attack of the guitar, and all the high strings really ring out, and it really kind of gets bassy and thumpy. I prefer to test out in the end of the dust cap, where the dust cap meets the cone itself. That's sort of a nice beginning point, a sweet spot, if you will. And then as you go further out and away to the edges of the cone itself, the tone becomes rounder. So depending on what you want and what you're looking for in your particular piece of music, you might want to put it right here. You might want to find a sweet spot that works for you. And then not only should you experiment with on-axis, like here, 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 you can also tilt the mic so that it's off-axis. And I've found really good results by putting it on the sweet spot and angling it towards the center of the cone. It kind of gives you the best of both worlds, the sweet spot combined with kind of the attack of the center of the cone. And thirdly and last, it also depends on where you put the mic, how far away. Some people like to just put it straight up to the grill. Some people like to move it further away to get more of the whole cone sound, or the whole amplifier sound. But you do run the risk of capturing some of the room sound around that. So we're gonna test a couple of things out. I'm gonna let you hear different microphone placements, and I'll just play the same chords here over and over again using this Epiphone semi-hollow body. And we're just gonna play the same song as before, which just goes like a little bit like this. Okay, so let's move that towards the sweet spot right between the cone and the dust cap. And then as we go further out, we get a rounder sound. So that's 1 or 3 positions. That's one basically playing that you can start with or practice on. And then you can start playing with off-axis responses. So angling it towards the cone, towards the center, while keeping it in the sweet spot. So that gives you this sort of sound. Check the tuning here real quick. And then you can go even further out into the edge here and angle it towards the center, and it'll give you a completely different sound yet again. And then if you don't like that sort of close sound, you can experiment with distance. So let's put a foot away and just straight at the center, and then that'll give you a completely different sound yet again. Alright, so let's experiment a little bit more by putting it a foot away here and then angling it towards the center-ish, kind of like that. And that'll be the last one of my experimentation, and then I'll go check out which one I like the best, and then I'll play the whole song or record the whole song and let you in on the session there. Alright. Alright, we'll see you inside the DAW, and I'll tell you which one I picked and what I'll end up doing. Thank you. Alright, we're back in the DAW here. I've recorded a couple of different electric guitar parts. One rhythm and one kind of a lead chord bit, I guess. And I'm playing them together, and then alongside the acoustic guitars, it gives kind of a nice wall of acoustic electric guitar blend that we like so much. So I ended up actually swapping out the microphone I was using in the demonstration and used my Audix i5 instrument mic, which I had just forgotten that I had in the bag there. And alongside that, I put a Cloud Microphones Cloud Lifter in the signal path, and it gives you nice gain, nice transparent gain, and you can check them out at cloudmicrophones.com. And actually, if you go look us up and Cloud Microphones on YouTube, you can find a live recording we did with them at the Potluck Conference in one of their casita suites, just Liz and I playing guitar and singing. It's really cool, and the production of the video is really awesome. So we thank Cloud Microphones for having that up, and Avril, who did the video. Anyways, let's look at these guitars. So I've recorded this little bit here. And then this little bit here. And they were actually recorded through this signal path, the 1176 I put in the signal path, just with about 2 to 3 dB of gain reduction, fast attack, and a slow release, or a medium to slow release, just to give it some added compression and niceness from the 1176. So what we got together with these two parts is... And then with everything together, this is how it sounds like. Here, a
complete chorus here. From the
Useless from the start, that boy is gone. I lay my hands upon the water, and I raise my hands to the sky. The boy is gone. I lay my hands upon the water, yeah, yeah. I raise my hands to the sky. Useless.
So that's what we got so far. Next week I'm going to try to add some piano, some keyboard overdubs, and then after that we'll move on to vocals. So subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like what you're hearing and are learning something from it, if you're working in your home studio and making your own music. And if you want more audio production tips, you can check out my other website, audioissues.com, where I have a bunch of articles and ebooks and videos that you can take a look at to improve your audio production. So subscribe to this channel and head on over to Audio Issues and subscribe to the newsletter. And I'll see you next week.